It was you that broke the boiler!
I wanted to...
Why did you do that? Why?
I wanted to be on the show, like, you know, you wouldn't let me.
He spent the entire evening at his house trying to sort that shit out because of you!
Well, I'm better at this.
You know what, we'll talk about this later.
Okay.
I'm Stone.
I'm Josh.
Welcome to Rock and Roll Nerds.
And this is, the top 10 lead guitarists. Hi guys, this week on Top 10 we'll be discussing the top 10 lead guitarists in our opinions. Him and Sticks discussed it and I had a bit of discussion with them and I pretty much agree with it. So we'd like to venture our opinion, who we think are the greatest guitarists in rock, really. Rock and metal of all time. So, should be interesting.
Yes.
No.
So, in at number 10 is Slash.
Yes, Slash. God.
Slash is awesome.
Yeah.
We probably would have had him a bit higher on the list, but there's so many others that we like. It was difficult to get 10.
Yeah.
There's so many to put into it. It was difficult to narrow it down. But yeah, we put Slash in. Awesome dude. He's like basically the reason that Guns N' Roses was so good.
He's the icon. And he's remained the icon as well.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. Axl Rose has just got fat, more ginger, and more fucking annoying.
Not even the icon in Guns. Well, he's the icon in Guns N' Roses, but if you think of a rock and roll guitarist,
Slash is one of them.
Yeah, he's pretty much top of the list. Not just because of his talent, but the look. I mean, he bleeds rock and roll.
Yeah, he's got a lot of his own style to everything.
Yeah, and he's never gone away. It's not in a whole. Oh, he's never gone away. Why did he fuck off kind of thing? It's like he's never gone away, and he's remained fresh and talented. Yeah, he's always been there.
He's always managed to get himself doing a new project. Obviously, he had Guns N' Roses, and then that died. Yeah. And he had Velvet Revolver for what, 6 years, something like that, 6-7 years.
I don't know. It kind of went tits up.
Yeah, I
really.
think it was to do with the singer again. He just wouldn't get off drugs, so he's like, I'm out.
Yeah, he did other stuff. I mean, he did the Snake Pit, and he's done a lot of guest appearances. I mean, he did that really famous song with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That he was Given to Me. That was it. And even if you're not a Michael Jackson fan, you listen to the song and you listen to the guitar riff, you're like, you go for a Slash, boy.
Yeah, and then he decided to do his own thing, just called Slash, basically. Album-wise, he gets a load of like guest singers in, but one of the mainstays he has, and the one he normally has that's on tour, is Miles Kennedy from Oxbridge, which is awesome because he's incredible. But yeah, like I said, we love Slash. We think he's over the years, no matter how old he's got, he's still remained awesome. He's still remained relevant.
Yeah, and the fresh thing I can't hit on more so, because you think as soon as you hear like, oh, Slash got a solo album out, it's like, alright, it's going to be another Guns N' Roses thing, but he doesn't have the others like Duff and all that to help him out. But he didn't try and be Guns N' Roses really.
No, he did his own thing.
Especially with the first album. I mean, because he's got so many different guests. I don't know if he wrote songs with them in mind, or like, I'll write it this way because I know he'll be singing on it, but he just had nailed each style to the singer he had. So he didn't try and have an album that would be stale because of the same sound each time. Like with Miles, it was kind of with the second album, it's full on like hits you in the face. It's one of my favourite albums by Slash, and it's all Miles. And I was more impressed with Miles really because he could go heavy. Not in the voice, he weren't like growling or anything, but with the music style, and it stuck. Where, on the first time you got likes of Lemmy and M Shadows, and you could believe, listen to him, it was like, for anyone out there who didn't know where this song was coming from, it could have been like, well, that's Motorhead, but it sounds like Slash is with him. Yeah. Or that's Avenged Sevenfold, but it sounds like Slash is with him. Yeah. It wasn't that, it was Slash's own stuff that he wrote, and it just so happened that he nailed it with getting the right guest singers. Yeah. So, and I haven't heard the new album yet.
So, yeah, Slash is in at number 10.
Number 10.
So, in at number 9.
I like how that works. Right. Number 9 is probably my favourite guitarist at the minute. It's Mark Tremonti.
Before we go into it,
It's not Dave.
Back in the back in the thing, I called him Dave by accident and got corrected by his brother.
Yeah.
So much so that I signed his brother's Christmas card, Dave.
Dave. Yeah, but it's more.
But I apologise for that.
Yeah.
We've corrected it.
To all your Alter Bridge fans there that could have commented. Well, you probably didn't. But yeah, it's Mark Tremonti. Tremonti, in my opinion, he's always been very underrated in my opinion. Anyway,
I think so.
But
I think it's because of the whole
the Creed thing,
Creed thing, and everyone's just like, "Oh, right, Creed," so they're fucking shit. It's like,
that's what.
I don't like Dragon Force, but they're fucking talented.
Yeah, it's like we're saying with me with Bullet. I get their talent, I just don't dig them.
Yeah.
But with Tremonti, in my personal opinion, when Slash, who we were just talking about, steps down as in like, I don't want to do this before, or inevitably passes away, Tremonti's next step to step up to the plate, because he's the 21st century of Slash. He doesn't have the look like Slash.
He's got the skill.
But oh god, he's got such amazing skill. Like, the reason I get annoyed when people say I hate Creed is like, most of the time you either go in with the flow or you hate the lead singer, Scott Stapp, because I agree, he's a knob. If you look at the rest of Creed, the other three members of Creed are Alter Bridge.
And Alter Bridge are all.
Yeah, so if you're going like, I just hate Creed altogether, it's like, well, wait, if you like Alter Bridge, you're pissing on all of them apart from Miles.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Creed I did like a lot in my childhood years. They did some good stuff. Tremonti wrote most of it. That didn't work out. He founded Alter Bridge. He found Miles, brought them all together, and now Alter Bridge are again another band I don't think gets enough recognition.
Yeah, I think slowly they're becoming one of the biggest bands.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think they're building up to eventually doing the headline slot.
Yeah,
it will happen.
That's the weirdest thing, because they were, I think, the support slot really at Download. They were the band right before Aerosmith. And I still felt the vibe, even though I didn't go to that festival, I felt the vibe of a lot of people going, oh, I've heard of them, but that's about it. It's like, you have to listen to these guys and appreciate the talent. And now also Tremonti's doing his solo stuff, which I've got the first album, it's awesome, I need to lend you it. Yeah, amazing stuff, and he can sing. It's not like a Miles Kennedy where he can hit those high pitches, but he's got an amazing voice. And on one website, it said that his second album, which is coming out later this year, is one of the most, or if not the most anticipated album of 2015. Which I kind of doubt, because we've got, I think, another Sabbath on the way, and Metallica.
Yeah, potentially Metallica one. As Lars has been very wishy-washy with it. He's kind of like, it probably will happen this year. Could be next year though. I was like, just tell us.
Well, the other day, I didn't tell you this. This is kind of like, we didn't discuss this bit. I did see pictures of them in the studio.
Yeah, they are in the studio. They're busy recording. It's just a case of when do they think the album's going to be out.
Yeah, when's the release date kind of thing.
If the album's out this year, the tour's not going to be until next year.
No. But anyway, yeah, Tremonti, number 9, awesome. Check out his stuff.
In at number
8. Sorry, I was swallowing beer.
Right. Is Eddie Van Halen.
Yes. Very talented man.
Yeah, awesome dude. He's one of the best guitarists ever to walk the stage. The only reason I think we put him a little bit lower down the list is because we're not huge.
Yeah, I know a bit of him, but what I've heard of him, obviously, in Van Halen and stuff.
Yeah, Van Halen are awesome, but they're not like one of our top 5 bands type thing. They're just an awesome band, but they're not one of our top 5, which is why he's not as high.
I think he's in the top 10 because he was one of the people that helped revolutionise where guitaring would go.
Yeah, he's a pioneer.
He was like if for example, there's that gap between Jimi Hendrix and Slash, he's bang in the middle.
Yeah.
Because I remember being told a story by my father that a while ago, or obviously years ago, when they first started playing, he would have his back to the audience because he didn't want to give away the tricks he was doing. It's a bit pedantic, I suppose, but again, I can still get what he did. It's like, we've got our own sound here, I've found this talent, I don't want people going, oh yeah, that's good, and his sounds become stale all of a sudden, which it never has. There's a lot of stuff like, they don't play Van Halen enough, I don't think, at our local nightclub.
Yeah, I do. They only play
Jump, Hop Teacher,
and then Panama.
Yeah.
But I love Panama's like one of my favourites.
Yeah, and it's just, the riffs are incredible. It's, again, for that era, so fresh and so original. It's like, this dude's onto something here, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, the dude's awesome, and that's why he's in at number 8.
Yeah, Van Halen rocks. Yeah.
Okie doke.
In at number 7 is Randy Rhoads. Now, for the idiots of rock that don't know who Randy Rhoads is,
and you should.
He's Ozzy Osbourne's original guitarist. And from what I've heard, and again a little bit of what I've been told by friends and what I've seen Ozzy say, he was absolutely incredible guitarist and responsible for Crazy Train, which again, even if you're not a fan of Ozzy, if you're a fan of rock, you know what Crazy Train is.
One of the best solos in history.
Yeah, and just, you know, it's like saying if I said Enter Sandman, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So again, Crazy Train, it's like, yeah, even if you're not a rock fan, you know what it is. Randy unfortunately died early, if you didn't know, in a plane crash, would you believe it?
Yeah, it's a private plane that he took for a joyride when he was fucked up.
Yeah, it just, I think it actually clipped the top of Ozzy's house.
It clipped the mansion they were staying in.
Yeah, so what a way to go. But unfortunate,
rock and roll, but unfortunate, yeah.
And it was. I know from what I've seen, it hit Ozzy really hard. Like if you thought he was
his best mate.
Well, yeah. It was probably a lot to how you see him now. Like some of the clips you see him all shaking and stuff. Yes, it is alcohol. Yes, it is drugs and the abuse he had in the past. But a lot of how much abuse he gave himself was because of Randy's death.
Yeah.
But what I did hear, I put on my Facebook, add me. The other day is they're doing a Randy Rhoads tribute record. I don't think I told you about this.
That sounds cool. They did a deal one not long back, so
yeah.
Rhoads, that's
I can't remember the other person, but I know 2 that were announced to be on the album were Tom Morello, who didn't put him on the list.
No,
never mind. But yeah, Tom Morello, great guitarist. You know, got his own sound with Rage and Audio Slave and all that, and Serge Tankian. And if you're a System of a Down fan, yeah, you know, he is the lead singer. So, sounds really good, and I think it's been a long time coming, really, from Randy, because he's a great guitarist.
Yeah, we love Randy, we think he was awesome, so God rest him. Or Thor rest him.
Oh, may rest in peace, whatever.
Right, in at number 6 is Kirk Hammett from Metallica. Now, it was difficult to place this guy, because I'm like Metallica's, like, if you don't know, I'm pretty sure you know already, Metallica are my number 1 band, they always will be. But I think there is some better guitarists out there, but for his craft as the guitarist Metallica, he's fucking awesome. He's just
revolutionary.
Yeah, he's just got some awesome solos. He's got a great persona and everything. I mean, I know he excesses on his wah pedal quite a lot, but it's part of his sound. Yeah, it's part of his sound, to be honest. And I think Kirk Hammett, he's just an epic guitarist. He's just some of the riffs he's come up with and some of the solos he's come up with are just. They just hook you in so well. Because there's a lot of solos out there that are just something to fill the gap. Yeah. But with most of his solos, 99% of his solos, you look forward to it so much because they're so fun to listen to. And like he was the one that created the Enter Sandman riff.
See, I was about to mention that. I thought he made the riff, and then it was either Lars or someone said, "Well, why don't you try it this way?"
Yeah, he did. Yeah, originally the riff went down and down, 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 down,
yeah, and then Lars said, "Just extend it."
Yeah, he said do 3 and a tail instead of 1 and 1. It was 3 and a tail instead. But the fact that he came up with that. Yeah, one of their best. Well, one of their best. Cliche, but one of their best tracks.
Oh yeah, if you're a hardcore Metallica fan, you're sick of Enter Sandman by now.
Yeah,
I'm not hardcore, and I'm sick of Enter Sandman by now.
Yeah, we're all sick of Enter Sandman. If you hear it every time I hear it in the club, it's like, oh,
I can't be asked to dance.
Put battery on his head. But yeah, the dude's awesome. I think he just nails it as a metal guitarist, really.
Well, I remember when I think I might have been with you when I got the Kill 'Em All album. I think I'm correct in saying that all the members are original apart from the bass guitarist who obviously Cliff died and you know that what's his face, Jason Newsted, he left and now they got Robert. But I was blown away. I didn't realise how young they were when they started with Kill 'Em All.
They were like 19, 20?
Yeah, and for a 19, 20-year-old, 19, 20-year-old, that was hard to say, to be coming out with the speed and riffs that Kirk is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Because there's no one, you know, he probably had the likes of Sabbath and to like, you know, as a template, but it sounded nothing like him. It was just like, right, I've got a rough idea, but this is my own twist.
Yeah.
And it worked.
There was one thing that Lars said. He said when they did a song for an Iron Maiden CD for the Kerrang, Lars said we love Iron Maiden so much, and one of the main reasons we did what we did, and we kind of used them as a blueprint to do what we did. So it's like, here's the plan, let's expand on it.
Everybody has their blueprint.
Yeah.
Recently it's been Pantera.
Yeah. So yes, in at number 6 is Mr. Kirk Hammett. So in at number 5...
Sorry, wrestling coming at me. Sorry. Okay, is Jimi Hendrix.
He's got
I don't think I need to go further than that.
Yeah.
I think
Hendrix.
I think you guys are sitting there going, well, yeah. If you know, again,
you can't do a guitarist list without having this man in it.
Yeah, I even again, if you're not into rock, you must know who he is. If you don't, you have not been brought up rightly. See,
yeah. Blame your parents.
Yeah, I mean, some parents might go, you know, at the minute.
No, there was generally someone, a girl that's my missus used to work with, didn't know who Jimi Hendrix was, and she was our age.
Did she die?
I'm hoping so.
Yeah, we're hoping so. Rock and roll.
That sounds bad. We're going to hell.
Oh, well, okay, we'll reverse that. We hope she's very well.
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, unless you know, this day and age, it's especially in rugby, we only have one rock club in here, and I don't think it's much different anywhere else. Yeah, you got the big towns like London and all that have
loads.
Yeah, two or three. Well, maybe Leicester do. London probably have loads because it's a huge city, but mainly it's all that pop crap, which I cannot stand. So unless someone's been born into that kind of family, they must have an uncle or a cousin that's into rock a bit and go, you know, Jimi Hendrix is? No, listen to this.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like it, you now know how revolutionary this guy is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Purple Haze and Voodoo Child are the first things that come to mind.
He was revolutionary, and he was so awesome. The fact that he went against the grain as well, because like back in those days they didn't have left-handed guitars, and he was left-handed. So he basically said, you know what, I'm flipping up the guitar upside down and I'll play it that way. I'll decide how I'm going to play it.
Playing with my teeth and all that.
Yeah, it's like,
that's rock and roll.
Yeah, that was awesome. He had so much energy on it. Also, he just set his guitar alight at the end and that kind of shit. It was amazing.
I don't know what year Johnny Cash was around. I don't know if it was before or after Hendrix. I think it was before, wasn't he?
It was during. He was alive. Cash lasted for a while, but yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Cash had that rock kind of like the new Elvis kind of squire about it.
It was Elvis, but with less of a gimmick.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Elvis didn't, to my knowledge, play much. He did play guitar, but not like crazy stuff. Again, like Cash, they were their rock and roll ways with the acoustic guitar. Hendrix, to me, when I think of him, he's the first rock and roll guitarist, really. Yeah. In my eyes,
he was one of the first, like proper first.
He's someone who's like, look what I can do, and I can be a crazy motherfucker while I'm doing it as well. Yeah. So good for Jimmy.
So he's in at number 5. In at number 4 is Angus Young from AC/DC.
I would do the dance, but there's not enough space.
There's no room.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, Angus Young, AC/DC. AC/DC are one of the biggest rock bands in the entire world. Angus Young is just simple meat and potatoes riffs and solos. His energy is just, even at his age now, he's what, 62, 63?
He's never lost a step.
He's just all over the fucking place. The dude is, I mean, his solos, as he probably knows as much as we do, they're quite simple and basic, but they're simple rock tunes. But every time that you hear one, you're just like, yes, yes, this dude is awesome. He's such a cool fucking guitarist, man. He's epic.
Not taking anything away from him. He's a musician, a very good one at that. But I think he knows as well, more than anything, he's a performer. He's an entertainer. So if Angus were there, like, not taking anything away from the rest of DC, if he'll like the rest of them something about just playing their playing their stuff and all that kind of stuff, you know, it'd be like, oh, DC are alright, but there's nothing that really grabs me. Angus is just bouncing from one end to the other. It's like a pinball around the whole stage. And you know, when there's the unfortunate news that who's it's got dementia?
His brother Malcolm.
Yeah, Malcolm's had to leave because of his dementia. The whole thing with the drummer, I have no idea what's going on there.
Yeah, we've discussed it last week, I think. It's not proven yet.
No, but it's a very bizarre story to hear.
Yeah.
it's unfortunately proven that people like them can be replaced. And people even thought, like, oh, I don't think Bon Scott can be replaced. But then Brian came along and was like, yeah, he's not being replaced as such, but he's like, Brian's the perfect man to replace him.
He was the next step to take it further.
But if you don't have Angus Young in AC/DC, you don't have AC/DC.
No.
So it's again like if Corey Taylor left Slipknot, you don't have Slipknot.
No, it's exactly the same.
So Angus is, again, he's not AC/DC as such. Without him, without the rest of the band, you know, he's just a crazy man running around saying the guitar. But he provides that extra that makes DC the biggest band in the world.
He personifies it.
Yeah.
And he's just epic guitarist, and we couldn't not have him in this list. His AC/DC are one of our favourite bands.
Yeah.
Cool. In at number 3 is Zakk Wylde from Black Label Society. Zakk Wylde is awesome. He is like the beer swilling, muscle bound personification of heavy fucking metal.
Yeah.
The dude is awesome, and he's got a brilliant voice to boot as well. He originally got his big break as Ozzy's guitarist after Randy died. I don't think there was a guy in the middle. I think Zakk was the next one. He was quite young and fresh-faced.
Yeah,
but awesome guitarist. He took Ozzy like even further, and then he made his own band called Black Label Society, and they are just heavy as fuck. It's proper like beer metal. Yeah. It's just Viking beer metal. And he's epic guitarist.
It's that thing where if you're at school and your teacher says, right, I want you to draw me a heavy metal guitarist, he is instantly the template you go for.
Yeah, long hair, big beard, denim jacket.
Yeah, it's not like if he goes like, don't draw Angus, try and be original. You know, most teachers probably don't even know who Zakk Wylde is nowadays, so you probably get away with it. So, but yeah, if you're like, what's metal? Beard, leather pants. Well, I don't know if you wear leather pants.
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah, well, not pants.
Big
trousers, boots, huge guitar that looks like if he swung at you, he'd chop your head off. Yeah, long hair and just got that about it. That's metal. That's Zakk Wylde.
He was an awesome guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, also the fact of these Pantera reunions being,
there's a lot of rumours going around. But apparently they had a conversation, and he said if they ever want to do a Pantera reunion, he's only a phone call away. Yeah. So it basically means he's up for it.
I mean, I did watch an interview with Phil about it, and you know they obviously they touched a lot on Pantera, but he wanted to talk more about Down and that, which is understandable. But what they touched on is that he did actually speak to Zakk on the phone, a really good friend, and the whole Pantera thing never came up. They're just friends, but obviously people speculate. But the fact that I'm guessing about 90% of Pantera fans would agree that if someone's going to take Dimebag's spot on stage with Pantera for the reunion to happen, and it should be Zakk Wylde, that's a big enough honour as it is.
Yeah, it's no one can take Dimebag Darrell's space anyway. But if someone's going to step in for a one-off tour or one-off gig, Zakk is the one,
because he kind of looks like he was born to be in Pantera anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, like I said, it's a big enough honour for people to go, or Pantera fans to go, yeah, Zack's the guy.
Yeah.
So
yes,
good for Zakk.
Good for Zakk. In at number 3.
Yes.
And rolling with the Pantera.
Yeah.
In at number 2
is Dimebag himself.
Yeah.
Dimebag Darrell. Again, we spoke about Pantera a minute ago. If you don't know who Pantera are,
go away.
Yeah, I'm not going to be as harsh as I was with the other guys, because it's like if you're just getting it, if you don't know metal, you are going to know DC and Metallica and stuff. If you suddenly to walk in and go, guys, I'm into metal now, it's like, right, 101, Pantera. It's the first band you'd introduce them to, if they hadn't heard of Metallica and DC. So Dimebag, again, just with his, I'll take the word that you use every now and then, riffage. That's pretty much the only word that can really describe Dimebag.
Yeah, it's just riff after riff after riff after riff, and then somewhere in the middle you get this epic fucking solo of just high pitchedness and just mentalness. Yeah, he's an awesome dude.
It can go from so kind of sometimes it sounds complicated and it isn't. Sometimes it sounds complicated and it is, because it's just crazy. And then he can do stuff like that and take very simple stuff and make it iconic.
Yeah, like Walk, for instance.
Well, yeah, Walk's the main one.
It's such a simple riff, but the riff is just, in his hands, is incredible. You could give him the most simple riff in the world and he'd make it the fucking most epic song ever.
But just going, it's not complicated when you like write it on paper, really. But they have the genius to... The most genius ideas are made out of simplicity, I've always thought. So, like, I mean, Cowboys from Hell sounds a little bit, the starting riff, maybe a little bit complex. But again, can do something like 5 minutes alone, just that...
Again, a simple riff, but heavy and awesome.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He knew what he was born to do. And again, unfortunately, another one that died young.
Yeah, so unfortunately in 2004, I think it was, December.
Yeah, would have been around.
He was shot and killed by some fucking psycho right in front of his brother.
Yeah, very
lovely.
Very John Lennon-ish kind of thing. It's like, you're a rock star, I'm going to blow your head off.
Yeah.
I knew about it anyway, because I'm a huge fan of Disturbed. And they touched on that because I think, Pantera were calling it a day, and they were doing their last run, and Disturbed were with them. And then with the interview they had with Disturbed, he goes, we did it, and he goes, and that night Dimebag was shot, which is probably the weirdest thing, to know. It's kind of like, to relation terms, like speaking to someone, say bye, going home, and then the next day hearing on their way home they're hit by a car.
Yeah, it's like you were one of the last people to see him.
Yeah, surreality, and if that's a word, surreality. Yeah,
I know
it's a word now.
It's a word now.
Yeah. So apparently he's some sort of obsessed fan. I was like, who just upset that they were breaking up. It's like, well,
it wasn't exactly.
You've kind of destroyed Pantera now.
He went mental and basically thought that Dimebag was stealing all his riffs and all this kind of stuff. He was the one that created all the riffs and everything.
He thought he was Pantera.
He was adamant in his brain, and he went and shot it because.
So you get arseholes like that.
Unfortunate, but
it does
love Dimebag.
Yeah, it doesn't change any fact that he's a legend in guitar playing.
He's in at number 2 for us.
Dude.
So finally, in at number 1,
top notch. Sorry,
top notch.
Just continue.
Tony Iommi.
Yes.
From Black fucking Sabbath.
Again, a band you will know.
Yes. Now, if you don't know, which you fucking should.
Pretty much the first metal band ever.
The first metal band ever. They are the reason that bands like Pantera, Black Label Society, Avenged Sevenfold, Metallica, possibly even Motorhead, I don't know.
Yeah.
Exist because they were the first band to ever have this heaviness to it. I mean, if you listen to it, it's kind of like satanic blues. But fuck me, it's epic. And one of the main strong points of that band is Tony Iommi's sound. The sound that he's got is just insane. It's simple bluesy riffs, but the way he's tuned his guitar and the way that he puts his distortion on just makes it sound so dirty and doom metal and epic. His solos are incredible. And one of the greatest things about it was the reason his sound became so iconic was because of an industrial accident with his fingers.
Yeah, chopping the tips off.
If you don't know the story, which you probably do, but for any that don't, his fingers got chopped off in a pressing accident in a warehouse that he was working in, as when he was first starting up Sabbath, when they were called Earth back in the day.
What a shit name.
I know. Yeah. And basically he went on this press that he wasn't trained for because the other guy called in sick, and he was about to quit the job as well. He was literally on his last day.
I wish he had now.
He was quitting his job to carry on with music, and it was his last day, and he got caught and it chopped his fingers off basically, and he had to melt down washing up liquid pieces to fit onto the end of his fingers, and because of that he couldn't put too much pressure on the strings, so he detuned the guitar and loosened up the strings, and that's what became the Sabbath sound.
Yeah.
And that is epic because it just, something so
a freak of nature,
horrific, ended up making metal as a whole.
For those idiots who think like, oh, God is against heavy metal, God wouldn't have done that. God knew what he was doing when
if God exists, which he doesn't. He doesn't. I'm sorry to bust it to you. He doesn't.
Or maybe Shrike's dead.
But if he did exist, God does everything. So he obviously did that for a reason. So therefore, if God exists, he likes metal.
So we need a new sound for Sabbath here. Always things are off. He'll do this, that will happen, and you've got Black Sabbath. So, because we live in a shithole, rugby, not your house, nothing. Just the town.
Behind the camera it's a shithole. Here it's clean.
So where Steve and
Dave.
Yeah, Dave's looking pretty.
Dave, put that fag out.
Yeah. Sorry, Dave. Rugby's a bit of a dump, but I'm proud to say that we are only a half hour's drive away from Donington Park, which is, you know, the home of the biggest rock festival in the world. And if we go the opposite way, or, you know, a different route, 20 minutes away is Birmingham, where Sabbath were made.
Yeah.
So pretty much we're 20 minutes away from where metal was born.
And that's, to us...
That's awesome. The only way it could be better is if we lived in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Or Donington.
Just live on the field.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
But yeah, like I said, we love Tony Iommi. I think he's amazing. It sucks that he's still going through treatment with cancer and everything. He's doing well, but he said that, you know, he's still... Like, I don't know whether it's going to be my last year on this earth or whether I've got 6 more years. It goes up and down all the time. Yeah. Which is kind of... I hate it because it's like living on the end of a knife. It's just like, I don't know when he's going to peg it, and we don't want him to. Because you can't... I'm sorry, you can't replace Tony Iommi. You can't have Sabbath without Tony because no one will be able to change that.
It's like the list we've gone through, there's 3 that have passed away. And not to sound morbid, but it's very likely Iommi's next, because we don't know when his treatment's going to start.
Yeah, I'm going to say he's doing well, but we don't know how long until it happens. But we know we're getting a new Sabbath album. They're saying this is going to be their last one and their last tour.
Yeah, I believe that.
I thought the last one was going to be the last tour. I generally thought it was, and they said, no, there's another one.
If they got one more in them, they got one more in them.
And I'm fine with that. And I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing him again, because I saw him on the very last show of the tour in the UK in 2013, and it was one of the best gigs I have ever been to. The sound was incredible, the atmosphere was brilliant, and they didn't fuck around getting on stage. You know, normally when you headline acts, you're waiting half an hour, like, Jesus Christ, come on! Literally, as soon as the other band gone off, 20 minutes later, bang, they were on. They didn't fuck about, and I'm really glad that they did that. They just said, let's just do this.
Well, we probably didn't know how long he had left.
It's like, let's do this, quick!
Sorry, that's pretty harsh, but anyway.
But yeah, number 1, Tony Iommi.
Yeah, God bless Tony Iommi.
Yeah, he's one of the reasons we love the stuff we love.
Yeah, the definitive guitarist of metal.
Yes.
Apart from Hendrix.
Massive respect.
Whatever. Yes.
So yes, that's our top 10 done. You can like and subscribe down below, as you do. Find us on Facebook, find us on Twitter as well.
They're not there.
Find him on Facebook, Josh Jones.
If you want.
Give him something to do.
If you're at Slipknot next Tuesday, you can have my autograph.
There you go.
I doubt it, but I'll be the crazy dude in a mask. No, not the ones on stage.
Signing autographs with his penis.
Yes. Oh, thank you. I won't sign your penis, don't get confused with that. I'll sign your tits, as long as you're not a fat guy. Sorry.
So yes, anyway, like and subscribe, find us on Facebook, find us on Twitter, and we'll see you next week on R.R.N. Cheers!
Wait.
Hi guys, thanks for watching that. If you like that, then please like and subscribe down below. Also, if you want to watch another chit chat, click here. If you want to watch another review or top 10, click here. And also you can find us on Facebook. Cheers guys, thanks for watching.